The P series has been amazingly successful for Taylormade, and the P790 is getting some new updates, some new features. So we wanted to talk to Matt Bovee, Product Creation Director for Irons and Wedges at Taylormade, to give us a little bit behind the scenes maybe of this iron. We definitely want to talk about what's new, but when we look at the average consumer, this is a player's distance iron, probably a better player. When we look at the product cycle every 2 years for this, I think we're all looking for some major differences, something that's going to get us out of our seat and really want to go after this. We were talking a little bit off camera that you think the changes, the differences in this iron especially are going to be pretty big for Taylormade.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, so 790, when you talk about that iron and really the iconic legacy that it's kind of built, and certainly for Taylormade, but like you think about, we're entering our 5th generation, and it's led the player's distance category since it first came out in 2017. So we've got a lot of knowledge that we're building on, and we have some brand new materials in this 5th generation that really are allowing us to add more of the performance that this player specifically cares about. I'm talking about more distance, more consistency, and you're going to get better feel at the same time. So there's a lot of tech that drives how we do that. But that's what golfers can expect, and why I'm so excited about this 5th generation.
And revolutionary, I think, is what we were saying beforehand, right? I think those are the words that people want to hear, especially with so many options out there now from different manufacturers. But you all believe in this, and the advances that you've taken that we were talking about, it's building on the past, but this is really building the future for Taylormade, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, anytime you have material breakthroughs or manufacturing breakthroughs, that's when you start to have a new window to look through as to like where you're going to take things in the future. This new face material, it's called 4340M if you want to get into the specifics, but the important thing is it's stronger, 20% stronger than the face material that was in P790 previously, which was the same face material for the first 4 generations. So we've been studying this for a while, figured out how to get into the head. That extra strength allows us to make it thinner and faster, which is important because that's going to deliver more distance. But as a club designer, what gets me the most excited is we're going to be delivering that distance more consistently because we have a measurably larger sweet spot. I'm talking up to 24%, model on model. That's compared to 2023. So a lot of players, obviously, the average purchase cycle for an iron is 5 to 6 years. So if you're playing like a 2017 or a 2019, and you get into go and test this 2023 model, you're going to notice massive changes in feel. You're going to see more distance, and you're going to see it more consistently. And you talked about this being a little bit better player, right? Yeah. Player's distance is really going to be for like an aspirational type of golfer. You definitely know your way around a course, and you care about consistency. And you're hitting shots, and you have a vision in your mind, and you're like, I'm going to attack this pin, and like you want to be able to execute those, and these are going to help you do it more regularly. Yeah,
and the player's distance category, like you said, you want more consistency. It's someone that's going to care about those changes, and they want to know that they don't want it to be the club that makes the mistake, right? So the engineering process for Taylormade, what all goes into that to make sure that it is consistent?
Oh man, so I mean, so much goes into it, and I'm thankful to have the best R&D team in golf behind me. Those guys, they do just absolutely incredible work, and they honestly they pour blood, sweat, and tears into all the products we make. And like when you look inside P790, I happen to have some cutaways if you want to take a peek inside, but you can really see how much time and effort goes into the individual optimization of every single head. No stone is left unturned. I joke, I say that those guys are like surgeons with scalpels. They will find every little gram of mass and reposition it to where the golfer is going to be able to utilize it the most. And I think that, even though people won't see the details inside, like if you're a golfer, you go pick this up, you have no idea what the inside of that head looks like, but that's not why we do it. We do it because it's the best way to make a player's distance product.
Sure.
And again, that's just the passion that team has.
You mentioned, to go back to the face a little bit, and you said it's stronger, you can make it thinner. That's a structure thing so that it's not breaking, obviously. You want to make sure that it's durable, but you mentioned the weight. I think that's a big thing here, that if you can create a material that's stronger that you can make thinner, you don't have to shift weight around and try to manipulate where we're getting center of gravity, where we're getting some speed from, right? Where then you can take that weight and utilize it elsewhere.
Exactly. Anytime you give an engineer extra weight to play with, it's very impactful. We like to say, grams are massive.
Yeah.
And what it allows us to do is reinforce different areas of the iron so it'll feel better. We can get better mass properties. It says a lower center of gravity in the long irons. We intentionally shift that CG up as you work through the set because you want more spin in your scoring clubs. So you get high launch long irons, more spin in your short irons. Having more mass to play with allows you to deliver that and build in as much forgiveness as possible.
Yeah, you mentioned feel quite a bit with the player's distance. Sometimes sound is feel, right?
Absolutely, all the time. What you hear is what you feel.
Right, yeah, and so the feel aspect of this, I know that's important as well. What went into that and making sure that it was exactly where you all wanted it?
So we've been developing some new optimization tools over the years, and what we're able to do is really model how the club is going to vibrate at impact. So when it vibrates, it creates a sound. That frequency is what you hear and ultimately how you interpret feel. But it's more than just that, because you need to be able to tune that sound in a mass efficient way. So those two things are intimately tied together. And that's why you see the structure of each head changing. Because again, you go, where do you want the center of gravity for this specific club? And when you put those constraints on it, you see that mass move around and you have to stiffen each head in a different way. So that's why, again, like how you get better every time or each year with the different models is you develop new tools, you develop new materials, you learn from where you were in the past, and you take all of that and keep pushing forward.
Yeah, when you keep pushing forward too, I think that's the interesting part, because we don't want to look past this, but I know TaylorMade's already working on the next model, the next iteration. You have to keep looking ahead. When you have a breakthrough like this, whether it's with materials, feel, sound, whatever that is, what does that do for the future in construction and what you're able to produce? What does that do for a company like TaylorMade?
I mean, it gets us excited, honestly, first and foremost. But it gives us a new lens to look through, because you basically, like, if each one of these things is a little, puzzle to solve or a challenge, you have a new tool to attack that challenge with. So the engineers start, the brains start turning, and it's like, okay, I got a new tool in my toolbox. How do I utilize this? So it gives us more runway to keep pushing performance or feel or consistency for players. And again, like, that's why we get up every single day. That's why we do what we do, because we're trying to make the best possible products.
Yeah, trying to make the best possible products. The P790 with some awesome new features from TaylorMade.